Well, hey there, everybody. It's the 5th day of October 2025. I'm Jan Erickson, and this is As Above, So Below. So, as I said the last time we were together, I said I was going to do these on Sundays now and just do one reading a week. And so today is the first day of that. So, we've been rushing around this weekend getting things picked from the garden, over picking basically, because I think tomorrow morning it could be as low as 28 here. So I've got a big pot of tomatoes on the stove on warm. So when I get done here, I'm going to go and make some tomato sauce and freeze it. So that'll be the last of the tomatoes unless they manage to survive somehow, which they're kind of tucked back in, so maybe they will. But we're not going to cover them since it's October and we're kind of done gardening, so it's emotionally anyway. So anyway, let's go ahead and get started, and I'll take the rune from the Elder Futhark bag for the above side or higher self side of the reading. We have Thurzaz. Now, Thurzaz is the third rune of the Elder Futhark. It means the thorn. It's also Thor's rune. It's kind of looks like a little thorn on a rose bush, doesn't it? It can mean chaos. It can mean giants. It can mean what opposes you. It can be thought to be a protection rune. It can indicate new beginnings. It can indicate defense. It can indicate impulsive behavior. So let's see what the Geomancy runes have to say here. We'll find out what the rune is here for the below side or ego side of self here in the reading. Let's see, we have water there. Which one's this? This is fire, so that goes there. There's air. And there's, well, that's interesting. Yep. Oh, we have populace. Now, populace and its complement via. Via means is a single dots all the way down, and populace is two dots. So it's a passive influence versus the active influence of via. So this would be more like following the crowd, basically. So here's populace. Now, when you have, you can look at Thurzaz then and populace a couple different ways where maybe the impulse is to follow the crowd or to not follow the crowd, to not collaborate maybe. If you could look at it maybe that way, although really conjunctio would be probably the more appropriate geomancy rune for that. But you could have a situation where some lack of impulse control could get you aligned with some folks that you then follow the crowd and it turns out not to be a good situation. And in that case, or you could be somebody who stands out from the crowd and they don't like that. You know, there maybe you're somebody that is maybe a little more all about new beginnings and asserting yourself and taking the reins and having a little more power, inner power than say the crowd does. And maybe the crowd's just willing to go along with whatever. And maybe you're somebody that stands out from that. There could be something like that too, but it's kind of really undefined at this point. So let's go ahead, and I've already done some shuffling. Let's take a look at the cards and see if we can get a little more details about what this might be talking about. But impulsiveness, if you are with a crowd of people and everybody's acting impulsively, then that could be problematic. So maybe you just want to think about protecting yourself a little bit more than simply going along with a crowd that might be up to no good, or doing things that could get you in trouble where if you just sort of stood back and said, I don't know about that, and assert yourself a little bit more and protect yourself a little more, because the crowd could be what opposes you. And that's another thing about Thurzaz is it can talk about what opposes you. And having a lack of will, or going along with the crowd, or going along with whatever's happening, maybe that's not workable, and you'd want to protect yourself a little bit more. Well, we have a run on swords, so we could be looking at communication here. Swords is the air element, so you're looking at intellect, communication, balance, justice, observation, letting things settle out, so that you understand what the details of it really are. Very mercurial kind of, like the planet Mercury, where Mercury is known for all of that. It's an air element planet, and it's about communication, and that's why when Mercury goes retrograde several times a year, you have to be really careful about how you communicate. That's why you don't sign contracts during that time, because maybe there's a lack of understanding, maybe you miss something, and then you're stuck in something that you don't want to be. So we have 2 cards from the suit of swords and 1 from the suit of wands. And it seems to me that we're going to start here. Well, we have the 2 of let me move this back here. We have the 2 of swords. We have the 4 of wands, and we have the 6. So 2, 4, 6. That's an interesting pattern there. Magnification of 2 each time. 2 is about balance and decisions and love and healing and well-being, reciprocity. But let's see what happened to my deal. There it is. Okay. I was looking around for it earlier and didn't see it. It's like, what happened to my calculator? So we have Thursaz was a 3, I said. And then we have a 2 plus 4 plus 6. That's 15. 15 reduces to 6. 5 and 1 is 6. And so 6 is about guidance and assistance and compassion and empathy, and can also be about harmony, going in a shared direction with people. But let's go ahead and talk about the 2. Here we have the 2 of swords. Here we have a woman who's sitting on a stone bench. She's got her arms crossed. In each hand she's holding a sword. She's blindfolded. And her back is against the ocean that's not completely smooth, so there's still a little emotion going on there. You've got some craggy rocks sticking up and some mountains in the distance. So there's something challenging that she's having to deal with. You've got the maiden moon here. So you're looking at, if you look at maiden, mother, and crone, this would represent maiden. And so there could be some challenges ahead that she needs to make a decision about it. And she needs to do that in a dispassionate way. So again, if your impulse is to go and be part of a crowd or part of a collaborative endeavor or whatever it is, maybe you need to rethink that, and before you actually make a decision, you just don't jump in feet first, because this is, when you look at the maiden moon up here, you're looking at new opportunities. The same way with Thursaz of new beginnings. And so you have to get away from the emotions, get away from the reality of all of it. You see the 2, the dual lines right here, and she's on this side of the ocean, so on this side of the emotions, and so she does need to make this decision without impulse, without influence from anybody else, because this could be something that's new for her, and in turn for anyone listening here today. And not giving into the crowd, not giving into, the peer pressure maybe, although that would be a little more active influence than populace would be. Still, it could, if there's impulsivity, involved, then with and dealing with that with Thursaz, and you're going to want to get control of that so that it's not going to impact you. So you make a better decision. Again, a non-emotional one, a dispassionate one, okay? So in this case, 2 would indicate decisions. Now, here we have a partnership. It's sort of presented as a marriage. You've got two on each side, two poles on each side. You've got, if you looked above, say with a drone, or you got above it or whatever, you'd see that the garlands were in an X pattern. And so X is the symbol for Gebo in the Elder Futhark, and that's balanced energy exchange. It's the gift, it's reciprocity, it's marriage, it's partnership, it's a link between people. Here you have, again, that same dual line where the marriage took place here, and here they're celebrating, and there's the castle or their home in the background. So you could say this is probably royalty, or the lord of the manor or the lady of the manor has taken a spouse, a marital partner, and here you have the people there that are celebrating here. So with 4, whereas 2 is about decisions and coming together in reciprocity and a level of unity and harmony that way, 4 is a little bit greater. And so you're looking at something that's really going to change the structure and foundation of your life. And so the partner that you choose needs to be somebody that you can depend on and you can count on. 4 is about dependability and reliability and structure and foundation and grounding. So somebody that you can have a grounded existence with. So a lack of impulse control doesn't really factor in there. So you need something that, if, maybe somebody is in your life and they're all trying to get you to be with a person and you're like, oh, I don't know about that. It could be something like that today. Where maybe again, pressure from the group is wanting you to do what they want you to do and to go along with what they want. But you've got a new beginning here, that doing something like that might, especially if it goes awry in any way, it could impact that the structure and the foundation that you have, especially if maybe you are coming together with somebody in a marriage or a new partnership, or maybe the decision here on the new beginning, maybe it does reflect a new opportunity that may involve some kind of communication skills or legal skills or some kind of air element type of an influence here. Where you need to be able to depend on that level of communication with somebody else. Maybe maybe it's a business partnership that's happening. It could be something like that, and you need to be very grounded. Both of you do, and because you need that from your partner, so you can trust that person, so that this new endeavor you're starting could be something that whether it's a personal relationship or a business relationship or whatever it is one that you're going to be able to depend on, and you're going to be able to understand. The air element and the suit of swords is about understanding things and understanding the truth of things. It's truth versus deception, and there could be, with the crowd aspect of populace, maybe that's maybe it's not a trustworthy place to be, and you need to look at that and see what impact it's going to have now on your future if you do something maybe out of character with them. It could be something like that. But in the final analysis, here you have the 6 of swords. Now, in all 6s in the major arcana, in the Rider-Waite, in any of the Rider-Waite versions of it, you're going to see a difference in height usually. There's always a difference. It doesn't matter what it is, but there's always a difference in something here. So here you have, if you're depending upon a person, maybe here it looks like you have a family, or at least somebody who's taking a looks like probably a mother and child across a snowy river or a snowy lake or some kind of a snowy body of water there. Now here it's the water's not iced over, but the rest of it is, and you can see snow on the trees in the distance here. And she's got they both have like capes or blankets on or whatever, sort of huddling against the cold. And then you see the 6 swords that are right here. 2 are over here and 4 are over here. Very similar to the 6 of Pentacles, where you've got 3 pentacles, 3 coins on one side, 1 in the top and 2 over here. So there's a differential there, a differentiation maybe is a better word to use here, of of gathering together what you know, gathering together your knowledge, gathering together your plans, and you're making a change. And so with the new beginnings aspect of Thurisaz, with a decision about new beginnings here because of, and we know that because of the maiden moon and maiden mother and crone. Tonight's maiden, as a matter of fact, and tomorrow will be mother, and then on Tuesday will be crone, because the full moon is tomorrow. And or is it tomorrow? I think it is. Yes. And let me be sure. It's not the following week. I always work ahead. Yeah, it's tomorrow on the 6th. I always work ahead a week on the blog stuff. So it's like, what day is it really? But no, it's tomorrow. And so today is maiden, as a matter of fact. But so that's an interesting synchronicity there. But we know that there's some new beginnings also implied here, with the marriage, a new life that's starting, a new foundation, a new structure, having to do with this new beginning. And you want to make that decision about it in a dispassionate way, because there could be challenges. There's still some emotion there. And you want to be sure that you're not acting impulsively, which could be part of Thurisaz, and doing something. Here's your 2 there, but you could be 4 as well with the poles here, that you're not getting involved in some kind of a collaboration or partnership or marriage that maybe you're not quite ready for, or maybe it's not really going to get you what you want. And so all the facts, all the plans, you make your decision, you enter the partnership, and there could be challenges along the way. But this guy here might be guiding them, for all we know. And the mother and the son, maybe it's a single mom and her child, or it's the partner, the new husband, maybe a new spouse, who's helping them go in a new direction, that may be coming together with that person, then opens a door for something new to begin. And all that I think that the 2 is really saying, if that's the case, then is just be careful and keep emotion out of the decision that you want to make, and so that you're not doing something impulsively. That maybe you've got people in your life. It's like when you're expected to get married and have kids. What if you don't want to? Or maybe you're fine with having a partner, but you don't want to get married. And maybe you're fine with even getting married, but you don't want to have kids. So you're not living up to the expectations maybe of your family, for example, because they all say, oh no, you got to do this. You better have kids. You got to have them now. What if you don't want to? What if that's not your thing? What if you want your life to take a different turn? Isn't that okay to do? And so again, the emotional aspect of the 2 may be the influence of whoever populace is representing in your life, where you just have to turn your back to all of it and think about what it is that you want, what you want to see happen in your life, what your future holds for you. And then if coming into a partnership is the thing you need to do, make sure that it's reliable and dependable and grounded in truth and integrity. And then go ahead, and even though it might be difficult going forward, it might be, you're leaving in the middle of winter maybe, but at the same time, in the direction you're going, the ice is melting, right? And so you're not having to really push through that much. You make your plans, you get them ready to go, and you have them all out in front of you like that, and you know where you're going, and you have the dependability and reliability of the relationship or partnership to help keep you on that path. But again, you don't want to, and I feel like after talking about this, I think what populace really is just the expectations of a group of people in your life that, you may impulsively want to follow what they do, what they're saying, and what their expectations are, but maybe you don't want to really do that. Maybe it's just too much and you need to just step back and think about this dispassionately and in a balanced fashion about what you really want and what you really need, even if it flies in the face of, the crowd in your life, maybe family, who's trying to influence you to live up to their expectations of what they've done. They've all done this. They've all gotten married and had kids. It's fine. It's great. That doesn't mean you have to do that, right? If it's something like that for you. But in that respect, what opposes you is the crowd and the expectations of them on the choices that you need to make for yourself. And so I think that may be what this is really about here. And you make that decision, you move on in a partnership of some kind, and maybe you relocate to another place with the Six of Swords here, to a new place to start your new beginning. So I think that's it. See if that resonates for you. If it doesn't, then just, maybe sometime this week it will, or maybe somebody that is having to make a decision and is feeling pressured by family or friends to live up to their expectations instead of their own. And the chance is always there that you may do something impulsive because you've got all these people expecting something of you, but at the same time, I think it's not living your true life, not living who you are, basically. Choosing to do that's the impulsive thing, just to get them off your back, just to reduce the tension. And instead, it's okay if there's a little tension, a little, icy water there along the way that you have to push through just to get to where you're going. Because in the end, maybe that's what your true vision is for your life. And so, if you do have that kind of pressure in your life with populace, don't respond impulsively to it. Because in the end, you may be giving up what you really need versus what they want for you. Okay, they'll be fine. You don't do what they want, they'll be fine. They might be irritated. They might, wail a bit and say, oh my gosh, gnash their teeth and clutch their pearls. But it's your life. Your life, not theirs. It's yours. So that matters. So make your decision outside the emotion of it. And when you do, come together if that's what you're going to do with somebody, either in a new business or in a marriage or partnership. And then move on, irrespective of the challenges, with your plans in front of you, and see what happens. With the Six again, there's a level of harmony there. There's a level of guidance and assistance, and I think that part of that the Two of Swords is being able to talk to somebody else as well, to get some information on what might be the better choice for you, to sort of work that out with somebody else in an objective way. And then when you do sit down and you make your decision in a dispassionate way, then you'll have a lot of facts in front of you that you can think through when you're making it. Things that don't have anything to do with the pressure of populace in your life. So anyhow, that's it. Thanks for watching. Everything came out on the blog except for I have a new thing I put up, and it's going to come out on Monday. It's just one blog post, but it's the As Above, So Below readings for Monday through Friday. And then we'll do this on Saturday or on Sundays as well for the whole week. But it's the same format, only instead of 3 cards, it's just 1 card with a Elder Futhark rune and a Geomancy rune for the As Above, So Below side, and then 1 card for the details. And it's just a little, vignette, if you will, for Monday through Friday, to just sort of see how that resonates for you, and maybe gives you a little bit of different insight into whatever you're dealing with. So anyway, we'll see how that goes. If I don't like it, I'll go back to Mondays and Thursdays. I'm flexible that way, but it just feels like I need to do something a little different and shake things up right now. So I'm doing it this way right now, and I hope you understand. So that's why I did the other thing that you can read on the blog, just for some extra stuff. And plus, there's also the forecast on the blog. It comes out Sunday mornings in the midnight hour, as well as the correspondences for Work and Magic as well for the week. If you're magically inclined or like to perform rituals and you like to get things in order, astrologically and esoterically, so that you have the strongest impact that you can, that's there. And those two come out, but then the Monday through Friday thing, that'll come out tomorrow morning. I think 3 a.m. I have it publishing or something, because it's 6 a.m. on the East Coast. So anyway, so that'll happen, and then I'm also working on a Materia Medica that I used to have up on the blog, but it doesn't look right. It cuts off like halfway, and so I took it out and I'm redoing it in list form, so you can at least, it'll be lots of pages, but it's just what the herbs that I often work with, and so I thought that might be nice to have something like that. I'm going to do it as a page, so you can look at the tabs up there, and it'll be up there. You can click on the herbal stuff, and you'll see Materia Medica when I'm done with it. So that's coming out. But other than that, have a good week, and come back again on Sunday for another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.